Hi, I'm Sharon Meklis, Director of Editorial Data and Analytics at IDG Communications. I'm here with episode 13 of Do More with R, Drag and Drop ggplot. Some R users become a little leery of graphical user interfaces. Pointing and clicking and dragging may be convenient, but it can make it harder to save or check or rerun an analysis. But I think even most hardcore command line junkies would agree that a drag and drop interface can be helpful for some exploratory work. That's what the new R package Esquisse brings to ggplot. It gives the best of both worlds, drag and drop, plus generating code for the graphs you create. And it's pretty cool. Esquisse was created by two people at a French R consulting firm, DreamR. The name Esquisse in French means sketch. Let's take a look at the package. I'll use one of my favorite types of data sets, airline flight performance. Here I've prepped two data frames, flights from Boston to Austin, Texas in January 2018, and flights back from Austin to Boston the same month. I'm flying to Austin this coming January 2019 for the RStudio conference. I'm curious to see what delays looked like last January. Although, of course, past performance is no guarantee of future results or weather. You can open Esquisse ggplot builder from the RStudio add-ins menu. The default behaves like a usual add-in, but you can also open it in your browser if you want. Just hit the R option Esquisse.display mode to browser. Let's do that. Load the data, set my options. Now I'll open the add-in, ggplot builder, and you can see it pops open my default browser. But I prefer the usual RStudio dialog pane. So I'll close this, set the display mode to dialog, and then reopen it. Close the tab, stop the session, set my option Esquisse.display.mode to dialog, and then reopen the add-in. First, I'll choose one of the data frames loaded into my current working session to Austin. If I click on the Validate Chosen Variable drop-down, I'll see all the available columns and can choose which ones I want. I'll keep them all for now and click Choose. Now I've got my drag and drop interface. Let's say I'd like to look at arrival delays by carrier. I'll put op carrier in the X box and arrival delay in the Y box. By the way, B6 is JetBlue, DL is Delta, and WN is Southwest. It might be a little easier to see by carrier if I did a fill color by carrier also. JetBlue has the lowest median flight delay, but a couple of rather alarming outliers here. I wonder which flights those were. I can change the X value from carrier to flight number, still coloring by carrier. Yikes, that's the flight I was thinking of taking, 10:39. I'm flying in on a Wednesday, so maybe the midweek data is better? See the data panel here at the bottom? It gives the option to filter my data. I'm going to just look at Wednesday, so I will remove the other days here. Much better. Maybe I'll take that flight after all. Let's see some of the other Esquisse options. I can change my axis titles with labels and titles. Here I'll change the X-axis. I can change my color palette and theme under plot options. And also move or remove a legend. I'll change the palette to one of my favorite color brewer palettes, Dark 2. And then play around with some themes. I've got gray. I've got economist white. I've got light. You get the idea. Even if you're really comfortable creating your graphs by writing code, this is a great way to see how different color palettes and themes look on your graph. And now here's a really cool part of this add-in. If I go to Export and Code, I have the R code that generated this graph. If I click Insert Code in Script here, the code will appear wherever my cursor was last in RStudio. Or, possibly safer, I can click Copy to Clipboard, close the add-in, and then copy the code into my script. You can see if I run that, there's my graph. If I want, say, a bar graph of average delays by flight back from Austin, I'll need to do a little pre-processing of the data, such as here. I'm creating a new data frame. Then I'll choose that average delay data frame in the ggplot Builder add-in. Now I can do flight number on the x-axis, average delay on the y-axis. Make sure I set this to bar graph, and color by carrier. Voila, a bar graph. Here's my code, and I can copy that if I need it. If I want a graph where the bars are ordered from low to high, I'm on my own to either reorder them manually by adding ggplot code or creating ordered factors in my original data. That's easy to do with the forcats package. In those last lines, I used forcats as factor to first create a new factor and then reorder it based on the value of average delay. I'll run that, and now create my bar graph again. Open ggplot Builder, choose average delay. This time I'll do flight number in the x-axis, average delay in the y-axis, carrier as my fill, and bar graph as my type. Voila, an ordered bar graph. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. For more R tips, head to the More with R video page at go.infoworld.com/morewithR. That's https go.infoworld.com/morewithR, all lowercase except for the R. Or you can add the Do More with R playlist to your YouTube library. So long, and hope to see you next episode.